All right, I'm Kris Wolfe with Good Guy Swag, and I'm here with Adam August, who recently received international media attention for helping out a homeless man that he saw at Starbucks. Great to have you on here, Adam.
Great to be here, Kris, and thank you very much for inviting me and taking an interest in this story.
Absolutely. The first time I saw it, I was like, "There's a good guy." So we got to have him on Good Guy Swag, you know. Hey, tell us a little bit about like how this all came about, by the way.
And I had seen him at Starbucks a few times. You know, we all go grab our morning coffee.
Asking for money outside, by the way?
No, he was just hanging out inside. But I mean, I could tell that he was homeless, or that he was struggling, or that he had a different situation. And every time I'd seen him, like I'd always want to help. Just go take him to lunch. That's what I try to tell myself every time. But I would always find an excuse not to. Like that internal voice was always, telling me not to do it for some reason or the other. And one time I just, turned that off, put my arm around him and said, let's go to lunch. You hungry? And we walked across to the street to Subway, and I sat down and just listened to him. Asked him questions, wanted to learn about him and where he's come from and what's his life and how, what is he experiencing. And we quickly connected. I found out he's from Jamaica. He's a soccer player, has I think 7 siblings that all live in Jamaica. He came here for why most immigrants come here, and that's to create a better life for himself and be able to help his family. And just kind of one thing led to another, and it kind of just snowballed his life into the situation that he was in, which was homeless, and he was living in a tent by the bush, by the highway for like 9 months. And he told me during this conversation, he told me he hadn't showered in like a month and a half, 2 months. And that just really struck me because that's something I get to do every day, and I take it for granted. And I felt comfortable with him enough to invite him back to my apartment, and told him, to go enjoy a shower. He did that, and then we hung out a little bit more. And again, I just felt compelled to help him. I really can't explain it. There was no ulterior motive. There was no plan. This was kind of just happening all in real time. From there, figured that the best place to start would be to help him get a job. We started driving around town. We hit Starbucks, CVS, Safeway, Home Depot, any place that we thought potentially was hiring. The feedback was good. Most of it was, you got to apply online, which, again, another thing we take for granted is our computer literacy. There, we went to the local library and sat down and started hammering out applications. That was very eye-opening because I sat there and watched him struggle on the computer. So another thing we take for granted. Something as simple as, when you come across a screen where there's a bunch of writing, but basically all you have to do is push next.
Yeah.
Like small things like that. I'm sitting there watching him read everything for 5 minutes. But we filled out a few applications online and waited for the phone calls to come in. He had a few phone interviews, and eventually Safeway invited him to come down for an in-person interview. About that, I went in ahead of time and spoke to the manager and just privied her to the situation. And then he went in after me, and 20 minutes later came out, huge smile on his face, big thumbs up, and that's when I knew that he was offered the job. That was a high point. That was extremely exciting. And honestly, I thought at that point, like, everything was good. So we're on the right track. He has a job. He's going to be able to make some money.
How long ago did he get his job at Safeway?
So this had to be in August, July, August, right around then. And I understood that $12 an hour, $14 an hour, whatever it was, isn't going to be enough to, now to save money and get into an apartment. And,
especially in San Francisco.
Especially in San Francisco, 100%. Like, out of all the places to be homeless, this isn't the ideal place. So I told him, I made a deal with him. Look, just show me that you can hold this job for a month or two. And I knew that I could start a GoFundMe, or I could, reach out to my friends and family and raise enough money to get him some help and get him into an apartment. And unfortunately, what ended up happening was he never ended up going to Safeway. He never showed up for the job. I wrongly felt, and I saw this later on, slighted. And it was the wrong mentality to have, and I now realize that. And I think that in talking with him, he didn't handle it the best either. So we were both a little at fault.
Why was that the wrong mentality to have, by the way?
As I learned from talking with him later, is ultimately just because he had a job, he was still in the same living condition. Yeah. From that point on, the mission was to try to raise money and continue to build awareness around his story, and homelessness, as a broader underlying story, and again, finish what we started, get this guy a fresh start at life.
Wow. It was okay. So tell us where you're at right now. Where's Torek at right now? What's been happening with all this?
Yeah. So you're gonna actually be the first one to hear this. So we raised, it's still ongoing. We've raised over $15,000, and a friend of mine, who's been really involved in this, said, "Well, Adam, how about having him go back to Jamaica for a little bit?"
It wasn't ever like his idea to come to the States necessarily to become a huge success himself. He came here because he wanted to help out his family in Jamaica, right?
100%. So it was 2 days ago. I took him to the airport, got him all checked in, and walked him through security, and it definitely marked the end of a chapter in our journey.
Well, thanks for sharing that incredible story of inspiration and just really how you went out of your way to help someone that you saw in need. Do you know, by the way, what Torek's goals are when he's coming back? Has he made any plans to come back here or anything like that?
So I don't know really what, to be completely honest, what the future holds. I feel much better about it that he's with his family. My hope is that I'm going to be out there in the next month or so I'll be able to kind of, again, see what the progress has been and be able to report back. So I understand that the importance of being able to provide updates and all that, so that I'm going to be out there in the next month or so I'll be able to give more information on that. But I'm hopeful, and I guess at the end of the day, that's really all we can be, Kris, is just be hopeful.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Adam, so much for joining us, and we look forward to finding out some more great news coming from Torek soon.
Awesome. Thank you again, Kris. I appreciate it.